You ever feel your heart kick like a mule? Right when you're supposed to be winding down. Last Thursday, I'm 53, trudging into the office break room, bad back, tie crooked, thinking about the meatloaf my wife's got waiting at home. And there she is, Sarah, the new assistant, all of 35, pouring coffee like it's a goddamn seduction ritual. She turns, catches my eye, and smiles slow, like she's peeling back a secret, and says, "Rough day, huh, Mike?" Her blouse is unbuttoned one notch too far, and I can see the edge of a black bra strap peeking out, taunting me. I'm a fossil, a married fossil, and my dick's awake for the first time in months, pulsing like I'm 20 again. I stammer something about deadlines, grab my coffee, and bolt. But not before I catch her scent, something sweet, like cherries and trouble. And I'm already screwed. I've got a wife at home, 27 years of meatloaf and mortgage, and I'm half hard over a smile. What the hell's wrong with me? It's not like I went looking for this. I've been coasting work, home, repeat, since the kids moved out. My wife, Linda, she's solid, always has been, cooks a mean dinner, keeps the house running, still kisses me goodnight, even if it's more habit than heat. But the spark, buried under decades of bills, and not tonight. I'm tired. I don't blame her. I'm no prize either. With my gut spilling over my belt, and a face that's more mileage than charm. Then Sarah shows up 3 months ago, all legs and confidence. And suddenly, I'm noticing shit I'd forgotten I could feel. It's the small stuff that hooks you first, the way she leans over her desk, skirt tight enough to hint at what's underneath. Her laugh cutting through the office, hum like a shot of whiskey. I'd catch myself staring during meetings, her pen tapping her lips. Those full, glossy lips I'd kill to taste. And I'd snap back, pretending to scribble notes, hoping nobody saw the flush creeping up my neck. Last week, she dropped a file by my desk, bent down to pick it up, and her hair brushed my arms soft, electric, like a live wire. "Oops," she said, grinning, and I swear her eyes flicked to my lap, like she knew I was shifting to hide the evidence. I grunted something about being clumsy, but my voice cracked, and I spent the next hour imagining that hair tangled in my fists, her breath on my skin. By Friday, it was a problem. I stayed late, overtime, sure, but mostly because I knew she would too. She was at the copier, hips swaying as she fed paper into the machine, humming some tune that made my chest tight. I walked over, pretending to need staples, and she turned, close enough that I could feel the heat off her, burning the midnight oil. "Huh," she said, her voice low, teasing. I nodded, throat dry, and she stepped closer, too close, her hip brushing my thigh as she reached past me for a pen. "You're a trooper, Mike," she murmured, and her fingers grazed my sleeve, light but deliberate, sending a jolt straight to my groin. I mumbled, "Gotta keep the lights on," and bolted again, but not before I caught her smirk, like she knew she'd just lit a match, and walked away. I drove home that night, knuckles white on the wheel, Linda's meatloaf waiting like a guillotine. I walked in, kissed her cheek, ate in silence, but But all I could see was Sarah, her hips, her lips, that damn bra strap. I showered after cold water doing nothing to kill the ache, and stood there dripping, staring at my reflection. Sagging skin, tired eyes, a man who shouldn't be dreaming of a woman half his age. But I was. I climbed into bed. Linda's snores a wall between us, and I lay there, hard and restless, imagining Sarah's voice in my ear, her hands sliding where Linda's haven't in years. Monday rolled around, and it got worse. She stopped by my desk with a report, leaned in close, too close, her blouse gaping just enough to show a shadow of cleavage that made my mouth water. "You're good at this," she said, tapping the paper. But her eyes were on mine, dark and playful, like she meant something else. I shifted in my chair, jeans tight, and croaked. Years of practice. She laughed, soft and throaty, and brushed my shoulder as she walked away, casual. But it lingered, a burn I carried all day. I kept replaying it, her touch, her scent, until I was useless, staring at spreadsheets while picturing her bent over my desk, skirt hiked up, moaning my name. I'm a walking cliche, I know it. The old guy panting after the young thing. The midlife crisis in a cheap suit. But it's not just her body, though, Christ. That's enough. It's how she sees me. Linda looks through me, a fixture like the couch or the fridge. But Sarah, she looks at me like I'm still a man, like I've got something left to give. Yesterday, she caught me in the hall alone and said, "You've got a nice smile, Mike. Bet it used to break hearts." Her tone was light, but her eyes weren't. They lingered, daring me to bite. I grinned, awkward, and said, "Not anymore." But my pulse was hammering, and I wanted to tell her it could, wanted to prove it right there against the wall. Her legs around me, her gasps drowning out the hum of the AC. I'm losing it, piece by piece. Every glance, every brush, it's piling up guilt, want, a hunger I can't feed. Linda's at home, waiting with her routines, her quiet love. And I'm here, burning for a woman I barely know. A woman who'd laugh if she knew how bad she's got me. Tomorrow, I'll see her again, same office, same game. And I don't know if I'll hold it together or crack wide open. 53 years, and I'm a fool again, chasing a spark I should have buried long ago. I thought I could handle it, keep it in my head, let it simmer, stay the good husband, trudging through the muck of middle age. But Sarah's not a simmer, she's a god ablaze, and I'm the idiot holding the match. 53 years old, a mortgage, a wife who irons my shirts, and I'm sitting here, palms sweaty, dick twitching, because a woman half my age smiled at me like I'm not a washed-up relic. It's pathetic, but it's alive, and I haven't felt alive in so long I'd forgotten what it tastes like. Tuesday was the tipping point. I was in the break room again, nursing a stale coffee, when she walked in, skirt shorter than usual, heels clicking like a countdown to my doom. She bent over to grab a mug from the cabinet, slow and deliberate. And that skirt rode up, high enough to show the tops of her thighs, smooth and tan. A glimpse that hit me like a brick to the chest. My cup slipped, splashed coffee on my hand, and I cursed loud enough to make her turn. "You okay, Mike?" she asked, smirking, stepping closer. Close enough, I could see the freckles on her collarbone. Smell that cherry scent again. "Fine," I lied, wiping my hand. But my voice was rough, and my eyes were locked on her legs, imagining them wrapped around me, her heels digging into my back. She didn't move away, just stood there, mug in hand, watching me squirm like she enjoyed it. It's been downhill since Wednesday. She dropped by my desk with some bullshit memo, leaned over my shoulder to point something out, her hair brushing my neck, her breath warm against my ear. "You're tense," she whispered, and her hand rested on my arm just a second. But it burned through my shirt, straight to my core. I could feel her chest grazing my back, soft and firm, and my brain shorted out, picturing her straddling me right there, blouse open, her nails raking my chest while the office buzzed around us. I shifted, crossed my legs, muttered, "Long day," but she lingered, her fingers squeezing once before she pulled away, leaving me hard and panting behind a stack of papers. Thursday night, I stayed late again. She was there too, of course, like fate's screwing with me. The office was dead, just us and the hum of the lights, and she wandered over, hips swaying, a takeout coffee in her hand. "You're dedicated," she said, perching on my desk, perching, Jesus. Her skirt hiking up, thighs bare and inches from my hand. I could have touched her, could have slid my palm up that skin, felt it tremble, pulled her down until she was in my lap, hot and willing. "Gotta eat," I said instead, voice like gravel. And she grinned, sipping her coffee, her tongue flicking out to catch a drop on her lip. "Bet you're starving," she teased, and her eyes dropped, deliberate, brazen, to my lap, like she knew exactly what I was starving for. I gripped my pen until it hurt, fighting the urge to grab her, bend her over the desk, make her scream until the walls shook. Friday was the high point, the moment I'll replay until it kills me. She cornered me in the supply closet, yeah. A fucking cliche, looking for printer ink, her body brushing mine in that tight space, the door half shut. "Help me reach," she said, stretching up, her blouse lifting to show a strip of stomach, flat and begging to be kissed. I stepped in too close, my chest against her back, my hands shaking as I grabbed the cartridge, her ass pressed into me, soft, warm, intentional. And I froze, breath hitching, every nerve screaming to grind against her. Rip that skirt off. Take her right there on the floor. She turned her head, lips inches from mine, and whispered, "Thanks, Mike." Her voice a purr that shot straight to my groin. I could taste her breath, coffee and mint, and I saw it. Her mouth parting, her body arching, me pinning her to the shelves, fucking her senseless while the world faded out. I didn't do it. I handed her the ink, stepped back, muttered, "No problem," and fled, heart pounding, jeans strangling me, guilt clawing my throat. I drove home in a daze, Linda's meatloaf cold on the counter, her voice a distant hum as I shoveled it down. I showered again, stood under the spray until it ran cold, but it didn't help. I was still hard, still seeing Sarah's thighs, her lips, that ass against me. I climbed into bed, Linda asleep, and lay there, staring at the dark, my hand twitching to relieve the ache, but stopping short, because even that felt like betrayal. Betrayal of what, though? The wife I've got, or the woman I want? Saturday, I mowed the lawn, routine, normal, a lifeline to sanity. But Sarah was there in my head, her voice echoing. Bet you're starving. I hacked at the grass, sweat soaking my shirt, picturing her on her knees in that closet, looking up at me with those eyes, her mouth. Christ. I nearly broke the mower, slamming it into the shed. Linda called me in for lemonade, her smile soft and tired, and I drank it down, hating how it tasted like duty, while Sarah's cherry scent lingered in my nose. I'm 53, and I'm splitting in two, one half trudging home to meatloaf, the other clawing for a woman who'd ruin me. Monday's coming. I'll see her again, same desk, same smile, same game, and I don't know what I'll do. Nod and shuffle past, crack a joke, or let my hand linger when she brushes me. See if she pulls away or presses closer. Linda's waiting, oblivious, her quiet love a tether I'm straining to snap. 53 years, and I'm a heartbeat from throwing it all into the fire. One look, one touch, and I might not come back.